Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman, back with another game. This time we've got rast4 playing split between Forglar Swamp and Underdepths. It's got Goblin Gloombringer. I'm very curious as to what this deck could be. And over here we've got Little Boy Blue playing a full faction Shattered Peaks, Hyenids by the look of it. And he's gone, I think did he actually miss his first turn? I feel like he did. Yeah, he just skipped his first turn. He didn't, he just double deployed on his second turn instead. I mean, that's one way to do it. If you're top side on this map, you kind of have to follow bottom players' deploy structure, just because you can't really get to this font without a 7-speed champ. So if all you have is 6s, I mean, deploying here first is kind of risky. So I don't hate what he did there, but you know, still would have liked to see at least some deploy on this first turn. But it seems like Rast here is going with a Vothsair Ireguard and Goblin Gloombringer. Yeah, this is a random assortment of champions if I've ever seen them. Vothsair Gloombringer and Firk Thornflinger. Normally Forglar and Underdepths don't have much in common. There are a few splits like that where it's just like there's really nothing you can do with them, and like stuff like, I don't know, Kathir Forest and Forsaken Waste don't have much in common. Sundered Lands and Savage Tundra, like you could maybe do Beasts, but that's about it. And then Forglar and Underdepth is sort of the same. I guess they kind of tried to force it before with like a fire, some kind of fire stuff with Sixel, and then Corrupted Overlord, which I've never seen anyone play, but it seems like Rast is trying to make something work as best he can. He's got the Divert coming out on from Ungen. That's Staff of Ascendant, or not Staff of Ascendant, Staff of the Solstice, foiling the Barrage. That the Thornflinger did have enough to make a third attack afterwards, so that Ungen is down to 21, and I'd be kind of worried here if I were blue. He's got 2 ranged champions versus an Arrow Eater, and Shattered Peaks doesn't typically have stuff to deal with Arrow Eater. They don't really have like a corruption unit, they don't have a lot of loss of life, they don't have anything like Metamorphosis really. Except there's that one Hyanid, Mundanugu, I think has Metamorphosis, so if you could deploy that one, he'd be in a pretty good place. Gloombringer deciding that he wants to take a bath. He's all stinky and filthy. He's gonna take a dip in that river just for a bit. Gonna sit there and maybe like wander over to this font after he's done washing himself. But yeah, I wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect this guy to be very clean under that robe of his. So Bubble of Protection actually going down onto the Thornflinger. I don't think that was really necessary. The Thornflinger, like even if Blue used a spell to kill the Thornflinger, that's just more Nora that, you know, Blue's spending on not countering this Vothsair, which he doesn't have a good answer to yet. I mean, Bulwark is melee, of course, but Bulwark won't really last long against a Vothsair Ireguard in melee. Not with the damage he's got, and not, especially not with any other way to get stacks of, what's that Hyanid racial called? Dogpile. Yeah. Dogpiling. So an Instigator, and it's been a while and a half since I've seen Instigator. And I remember way back in the day when Shattered Peaks had like pull on their 2 to 6 range angels. They had Sion with Warcry that would just like Warcry and Instigator. Like these were crazy days. Initiative 2 was like a flat 7 AP on deploy. And you just run in with 7 AP, Sion would Warcry him after an angel pull. You'd get insane power turns, especially with stuff like Bat Swarm from the Crypt. But yeah, the current Instigator is really not that viable in my opinion. I mean, I think Pariah just sort of ruins it, just because like, you can't support him in any way. You kind of have to rely on just him to get swarms. And the swarms, I mean, they're not that hard to come by because the base champion has Dogpile, but I think he kind of has a mismatched kit nowadays. So Rast is currently in total control over that mid font. I'm thinking that Blue will throw that Bulwark in though. Vertical push might be incoming here on that Vothsair. Hey, wait, Rast deploys. Did I miss a stealth deploy? Why is he deploying Burkjohnny all the way over there? Is there an Executioner out or something? Not an Executioner, the one with Assassinate. Doesn't look like it. Maybe he knows something I don't. Maybe he's actually trying to rush Blue's top font here. That would be neat. Honestly, I don't hate it. I think the fact that he has the Vothsair in there and Blue will probably have to use at least one spell on it means that Rast is free to harass that side font and put pressure on it if he wants, to divert more of Blue's resources away from dealing with this Ire Guard. But still no clue as to what Rast's deck is. It's probably just good stuff, just by what he's deployed right now, but I don't know if I'd call Gloombringer good stuff. He seems... I don't know, he just seems not to do much. Like, he's a magic damage with good range, and he has Life Siphon, but I wouldn't really run him outside of Goblins. I think there are a lot better picks. Like, if you're running good stuff, you could run, like, Shadow Rake instead. Shadow Rake is the first thing that comes to mind. I don't know why, but I really like Shadow Rake. I think Underdepth's players would do well to run as much of him as they can. But Blue here is definitely at a disadvantage. I don't really see him killing this Vothsair. Like, there's no way, like, an Instigator and a Bulwark can do anything to that. I feel like he should just... I want to say he should just abandon the font. Oh, there's the Mundanugu. Alright, so he is running a counter. Yeah, like, especially now. Like, if you could throw the Bulwark in, but, I mean, Vothsair is going to get 2 hits, Thornflinger is going to get 2 hits, and Gloombringer could probably get 1, so you kind of just have to play safe for the moment and let him have mid. That's something I don't know, I feel like a lot more players could stand to learn, is when to give up a mid font. Because it seems, we're redoing maps right now, right? And one thing I want to push the idea of is that giving up mid font shouldn't feel like it's the end of the game. It should feel like a disadvantage, certainly, but I feel like a lot of times when your opponent captures mid font, people are just like, well, the game's over, I can't do anything, they have the mid font, and then they just sort of turtle for a few turns and then they give up. I mean, some of this could be an issue with deck building on the player's part, but I feel like mid font needs to be swingy, but not too swingy. Like, there needs to be that comeback element possible after surrendering mid, because otherwise, I mean, a lot of the maps right now are mid fonts, and a lot of them will be in the future. So there needs to be a little bit of a trade-off, I think. But I mean, in these situations, like Rast here, like he could probably be a little bit more aggressive than what he was being before. Like, he is moving in now. He wants to stay out of that metamorph range. And Shattered Peaks, they do have Alacrity available in terms of spells. They have Avalanche for knockback, so you kind of have to play around that. If that Vothsair does get metamorphed, I mean, Blue could potentially make a comeback here. Rast currently playing quite safe, quite solid, and still threatening that font with Berkshani, so Blue's going to have to keep something over there at least. All right, well, he decided he doesn't want to be threatening anymore. He wants to be a man of action, so he sends that Berkshani straight into the font. Now, see, if this were me, I would probably... Oh wow, he's sending the Vothsair over too. See, if it were, I'd just send Berkshani in and then just make a big push towards the shrine here, and you know, force Blue to split up his forces a bit. I think Blue's just gonna send this Mundanugu over. Like, he's the only counter to the Vothsair. Yeah, and there he goes. Like, these champions are a little bit too far out of position to be helpful for Rast at the moment. Like, he needs to get them into the shrine while Berkshani is still alive. And what was that equip? Was that yeah, Slaver's Whip. So we've got Drive coming in. Hyena Descendant can get a hit. The Instigator can get a hit with the Drive, and then Bulwark with the Drive. You could get a hit with each of them, at least. Berkshani has no equip currently. I probably would have saved for an equip before throwing him into the font, just for that block. I mean, you're facing down, you know, 2 melee champions, and one of them is a Swarmer. You probably want block on there. The Drive coming in. None of them are Warrior, Knight, Paladin. Ooh, a Split Personality. Alright, so Ascendant. It's interesting that he cast Split Personality on the Ascendant, since Berkshani does have Dodge. Maybe not wouldn't be my first choice, but it does force the vertical push. So, alright, Blue's got counters. Counters aplenty to the Vothsair. And he is blocking him out of this font now, so Rast really has to make something happen over here with these guys. Gotta head right for that shrine, or maybe even send this Stormflinger over here. And he does currently have the font advantage, but Shattered Peaks, of course, not too bad at playing from behind with their faction bonus. They can still sustain deploys. Yeah, I'd probably not send that Vothser, and I definitely would have kept the Vothser like over around here. I mean, I think he knew that Berkshani wasn't going to die just to what he had. So throwing that Vothser in over here would have made a little bit more of a difference in that push. And he's sending the Thornflinger over too. Wow. I mean, 2 champions isn't really much of a Shrine Rush. But once that Berkshani comes back, he will have help in dealing with Blue's forces here. Orb of Protection, of course, going to help out a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit against the Ascendant, who has already ascended. What took the Defile? Was it this guy? Yeah, this guy is currently defiled and decaying. So what is Rast gonna deploy? I have no idea. What was that? A commando? Yep, a commando. So Salomon Commando coming down. Again, a little bit of an odd choice. Is he really good enough for like a good stuff split? I don't know. I see him in Salaman all the time. I think that's just because he's cheap. Like, he's 64 Nora. He has Shadow Spawn. I'd really like to see him get his signature ability back. Airdrop, I think it was called. I know it was bugged for the longest time and didn't actually teleport you, but I think that would be a nice return to the game for Commando there. It's still on that Sunderland's worm thing, Infester. I'm pretty sure it's still on there. Maybe they took that. Maybe they took it off that too. Another champion that kind of got shoeboxed after that change, because his only real purpose was in airdropping into a place and turn to the enemy side. So actually, Blue is retreating his Moondanugu all the way over here to deal with this Gloombringer. I don't know about that. Like, now that Vothser can just head right on into that font. Like, there's 2 melee champions there, but I mean, with 55 HP, like, he can get... oh no, he only has multi-1. That's a shame. So if he needs 1 more AP. If this Thornflinger has a Horn of Order on him, he could potentially get 2 hits plus 1 from Berkshani. That still wouldn't be enough. Needs a little bit more. Actually, maybe Berkshani can... What the hell? A Fading Recollection. Onto the Instigator, so no more swarms coming from Instigator. That is... that's... I don't know how I feel about that. That's 55. That's 50. I think it's 50 Nora now, actually. But I don't know. I think if you were maybe going to go for a kill, like the Bulwark would have been a better choice, as he would lose tough and aid defense and stuff. And Instigator can only get 1 hit anyway. Gloombringer gets a little bit of action onto the Moondanugu before retreating. And then Thornflinger takes a shot at the Shrine. Rast is sort of splitting up his focus here, attacking the Shrine and Moondanugu at the same time. But I mean, you know, he's still in fairly decent control of the game. He's got Vothser in there. I don't know about moving in there though. Like now he's in double hit range and Octopi Helm. Are you kidding me right now? I have never seen anyone else play Octopi Helm in my life. I play it just because I like to meme around, but I don't know. It gives Ink, which is an old ability that's basically blind, but it lasts for 4 turns. Which I honestly think we could see more of on stuff like Swamp Octopus. He's transfiguring too, this mad lad. What is he doing? He needs more champions in the fight, I guess. But I mean, like, he's using Nora on this shit instead of deploying, so it's not really surprising. Honestly, I think that Vothser lives. Like, he can't be metamorphed. Instigator can get off double hit with a dry, but I mean, there's no threat of swarm, so he should be fine. I'm pretty sure Rast is still in decent control of this game. Like, that Thornflinger can start poking. Like, he needs to, I mean, I said earlier that he should go for the Shrine Rush, but now, like, kind of just petered out because he diverted too many champions towards this font. It's almost like he couldn't really make up his mind on what he wanted to go for there. So Metamorph comes down onto Thornflinger, actually, turning him into a snail, so that Blue is apparently not as worried about that Vothser as he was letting on. Instigator taking the block, and that Bulwark is kind of trapped now. He has no way out because the Vothser is a fatty. He's blocking him off. Nowhere to go, so I'm pretty sure that Bulwark is kind of screwed. No more aid defense stacks because of the blind. And then Thornflinger can get a nice little barrage, and then Votsair can stack it up, and yep, Rast takes the game. So well played to both, and we'll see everyone in the next one.